Now back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this. Oh man, is that beautiful? I'm just gonna listen right here. Golly, man, golly. Oh, let me just. I'm holding my Miss Perfect right now. She's going after them. Miss Perfect, the decoy, is going after all these guys in here. I love this. This is it. This is my fun show. Golly, my own phone is on. So that's Meridian. Here you go, right there, Meridian, Mississippi. There he is calling. We're trying to hook up the guys, and they're calling me on my cell phone. This early in the morning. All right, let's talk.
So
Bill Cooks.
They're better calling turkeys than calling phones?
Yeah, I guess so. That was a missed call from somebody in Mississippi. That's who we're trying to get in touch with. Mike Giles and Otha Barham, we're trying to get them, and they just called me on my cell phone. I'm sure that's Otha. He's older than Charles down there, so
he's older than dirt.
Dirt, yeah, mud, all of them, So, but we do have Russell Ginn in with us. We got Charles Petrie in here. We got Steve Turpin, and of course we've shuffled things around. So normally Bill Cooksey would be here on the fourth Saturday of the month, but I thought he would like to come in this morning.
No Wong.
No Wong. Wong will be next week. Wong
Gotcha.
will be next week. So he shuffled him up, and Frank Barton will have to work with Russell and other people next week, as I got some special guests on there. Another Russell will be on next week's show, so you'll figure that out. But Frank Barton will be in the studio, but we'll be talking a little bit about the White River trip that I just got back from, more on the turkey season. In fact, I've got trying to work you guys go to Gulf Shores. Anybody ever been to Gulf Shores?
Well, yeah.
You know that the State Park Lodge was blown away by the hurricane several years ago. They're going to rebuild that lodge and make it more family-friendly and not as expensive and things along the lines. So we're going to talk next week with the guy that's in charge of that.
Cool.
And so we're going to try to talk to him, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about other things going on. Who do we have on now? Who's with us?
Mike Giles.
Mike Giles, we can't get your illustrious young cohort there. I mean, he's probably out playing some gig someplace. So,
Oh, yeah.
So we can't. But Mike Giles, it's good to have you. We're trying to get up with Otha Barham from both. I don't know if we've ever had two from Meridian at the same time. Mike, we're talking turkey today. So, and you don't mind talking turkey, do you?
Oh, yes, sir. I tell you what, Mr. Otha's probably tied up with the gobbler out in the woods this morning.
He probably is. We've talked about Mississippi season's over. What kind of weather? This is unbelievable weather this week, too. So if I'd have bought that 7-day license, it would have been sleeting and snowing and the wind blowing. I can tell you
One
that.
extreme to the other.
Yeah. But we have some turkey calling dudes in here today. I guess we'd call them that. But Mike has a special way. Mike doesn't need any. Mike's bad for all of you guys' business. Okay, I mean these guys make calls. All except
I don't make anything.
But do you know Mike Giles?
Right.
I do know Mike.
Mike, you know Bill Cooksey?
I don't know if I've met him personally or not, but I'm glad to hear from him.
Yes, you know it.
We fished together last year at Gaston's.
Okay. Oh, yes, that's right.
That is right. Yeah, they were up. Yeah, that's right. We're getting ready to do that. That's another group coming in April. But how about making some music for me?
Man, I'll do it. I was over there. I came out of Gaston's, by the way, you were talking about. Came out one morning, it was drizzly rain, and all of a sudden I just went, That's what met me up on the hill, old gobbler was gobbling. And it was really good.
But
sometimes though, I like to use different calls.
Yeah.
And I understand I'm going to have a Turpin Yelper before you know it, but to add to my repertoire.
Okay.
But
he's shaking his head over here.
Use my natural voice, of course.
But that's something that you've just kind of developed. I mean,
that's right. Somebody told me the other day, said, "You're a natural." I said, "Yep, natural, about 30 years worth of natural."
That's right. And we're talking to Mike Giles, outdoor writer out of Meridian, Mississippi, and a member of the Bass Pro Shop Pro staff, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Sure
travels around, a great speaker and everything. But loves to turkey hunt, loves to teach kids. I think one of your passions, Mike, is teaching kids to get them in the woods and experience it, right?
That's right. I was in Raleigh, Mississippi the other night, and I actually had one of these Bass Pro Shops carbon light rod and reel combos.
Yes. Uh-huh.
We also had turkey calls, but we did both. And I'm telling you, all the rods and reel manufacturers these things are so much more advanced now. You know, we had 4- and 5-year-old kids throwing a casting reel.
4- and 5-year-old kids throwing a casting reel. Yeah.
And I just throw that in there because that's been a problem for most people. They can't throw casting reels, but give me about 5 minutes right now, and I'll have you casting one.
Well, I know I've got to ask you this. Mississippi season starts early. I mean, I know.
That's right.
I mean, you get the week for the kids.
Mississippi goes way down there, you know.
Well, I'm asking. That's what I'm asking you for. Should Mississippi have split season and let the northern part and the southern part? That's been discussed. I'm just asking Mike here his
Good
thoughts
question.
on that.
Well, I can tell you I have hunted, not extreme North Mississippi, but I've hunted in different areas, and like my uncle hunted down in South Mississippi, and by the time ours got cranked up here, his was over with. You know, they were through gobbling.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't really tell you why, but different areas, you know, the gobbling activity definitely it occurs, the peaks at different times. So I wouldn't be against it at all.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people talk about because Tennessee's east and west, you know, and Arkansas's north and south, but they've had such a problem with their turkey. You know, they've had so many hatch problems, things like in Arkansas. And then you look at Mississippi, which started with this past Tuesday on the 8th, and
That's right.
and ends. I'm not sure exactly when it ends. I don't have the closing date. You know what it is?
It's around May 1st usually.
Yeah, well, we go another extra week because we don't start till April the 2nd. But North Mississippi people have always said, and that's where I do my 7-day hunts. And I have to admit, I could have killed a lot of cows. You know, I mean, you know, they seem to be moving more than the. You know, I've had cows literally walk right over me in some places, but I know there's turkeys there. But I wanted to ask that, and because the North Mississippi people always say, well, you know, we just don't get the same thing at South Mississippi where the weather's warmer, and I know there's birds down there, but
that's right.
And so that was a question I wanted to throw at you. But what are you hearing for as the season wise down there?
Well, so far now, the last weekend there were a lot of youth killed turkeys around the East Mississippi area.
Yeah.
Just there's not been a lot of gobbling activity. Just been sporadic. Matter of fact, I've been getting up every morning myself, walking and you know, listening, and you know, for 3 weeks had not heard a gobble, and I know the gobblers are there. I've seen them, but they're just not gobbling early yet.
Well,
it's just on the leading edge of it, really, just the beginning.
Well, I hope it gets there, Mike. Thank you, buddy, and we're going to try to hook up with Otha as soon as he gets up from his nap. Okay, and we'll talk to you. Stay in touch, buddy. There you go. Thank you, Mike. Oh, listen to that. My Giles. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you. All right? Okay. Well, anyway, if you haven't had a chance, if we don't get Otha's an amazing guy. He plays, and he's got a bass guitar, and he plays it mean for an 80-year-old guy. And but he's written this book called Spring Beckonings, Gobblers Call and We Must Go. And it's a wonderful book. It's even recommended by Jim Spencer himself, and I try to get Jim on this show.
That's a good recommendation.
That's a good recommendation. Jim and his wife Jill they're hunting everywhere now. I can't get them, and our good friend Jim Cassida also. But that's a great book to take and sit around and read. Spring Beckonings, Gobblers Call, and We Must Go. I don't know if you guys have that at Sportsman's Warehouse or not. You need to get it. Because it's a Mississippi guy book, and you got to do it. So, you hear any, Steve Bourbon, people talk to you about the Mississippi starting maybe too early, or do you ever hear that down there?
Yeah, and, you know, I'm always have been in favor of a split season, you know, north and south zones, but just because a lot of times, like you said, it's it's cold here, the first
yes.
part of Mississippi.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know this weekend here in Memphis, we're going to have highs in the 50s, and so that it doesn't take very long to get over here to South Haven and get to DeSoto County, and it's going to be cold. And so in the 30s, upper 30s, and lower 40s, and it's colder than that out in the woods. Because, like I say, when I was on the White River, the temperature was going to be 50 for the low. Believe me, it was colder than that on the White River. Because
think about just in Tennessee.
Yeah.
We're a narrow state, north to south. But if you right here, our red buds are popped out, and the
yes.
dogwoods are trying to go. If
yeah.
you go to my cabin on the Tennessee River, it's 90 miles east, but it's only a few miles north. There are no red buds. Nothing's budded out. It looks still like wintertime up there.
Well,
so imagine how different that is from Mississippi.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought. But, of course, changing the rules in Mississippi takes an act of Congress down there. They have a very political agenda that they have to get all these things done. And it's and sometimes it gets very confusing, but that's always been and I guarantee you, if they would have that split season, there would be more of us that actually would buy that 7-day license. I think it would be more beneficial because I went many times, and like I said, counted cows and crows, which we could talk that with Turpin again.
Now, if you get on a bird early,
yeah,
if you can get one going,
yeah,
he's a dead bird.
Well, I know it. I was down there 2 years ago, and we were on a bird. We thought we had him, and we were in a ditch. There was two of them, and this guy I was with, a real nice young man. He's been on the show, and he said, well, how old are you? I told him. I said, we won't do a whole lot of walking. We got in a ditch and came up out of that ditch, and I think it was a ditch from World War I. It was that deep, and he said, you take the one on the right, and I'll take the one on the left. Well, the time I got to the top of that ditch, I couldn't take either one of them, but I shot, and they both looked back at us and said, you fools over there, why are you on that ditch? Turkeys have a way of looking back at you and making you look stupid. It don't they? All right. Oh, that's just me. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back, and we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to try to hook up with Billy Yargus and Chris Parrish in 1 second. All right, guys, play some music for me. I love this.